Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you are doing great. You know what's doing great? The price of gold. That is right. If you have bought gold recently, you've been watching it go up. Now, there have been a lot of people, especially those in the chat room, that'll probably tell you. And let me know how long you've been owning gold since have been waiting for this moment. And it's not just a moment, it's a movement, it's a season. Since November, gold has really risen, quite frankly, a lot. It's outperformed a lot of investments. Now, I don't want to take away silver's highlights because silver has actually outperformed gold, but the media is talking about gold like crazy. Why would they rather talk about gold than silver? Well, that is actually a good story for another video. I prefer silver over gold, but gold is what's helping bring up silver. Sorry, we're talking about gold, not silver, not this, which I love. I mean, look at it. So, whoa, that's a collectible right there. But this is a silver ounce. All right, we got two stories to go over with you. Do me a favor as I fire up these stories. And you know what? We're going to start with the Reuters story first. We're going to stay here in America and see what big media is talking about. About gold. And it's important because as big media picks up the stories, more and more people figure it out. As a matter of fact, I was with a friend last night hanging out, and his son, I want to say he's 15 years old, sent him a photo from Costco with a gold bar and said, "Hey, Dad, is this a good price on gold?" The point is that many people are starting to figure out gold. Even people that just walk through Costco and go, "I would like me a designer toilet paper holder and a Movado watch. What's this bar of pure gold?" People are starting to figure this out, and it's getting really exciting. Remember, when these two lights sync up, type BAM, and whoever's first wins. So you have to have the BAM ready. When it happens, they sync up. Hit the send button. Here we go. All right, first story is out of Reuters. Gold price poised for the biggest quarterly gain since 2016. It says here, gold eased from its recent record high on Monday, but was still set for its biggest quarterly gain in more than 8 years on the back of geopolitics. That's what we're going to get into next. And the U.S. Federal Reserve's rate cut. Gold spot was down 0.6% to 26.41. You remember 3 weeks ago, we did a story here on the channel, and thank you to everybody that's been hitting subscribe and resubscribe, dealing with all that crap over there, the algos. But some big bank came out. I don't remember which one it was. I want to say it was Citibank or Chase or one of those big banks. Who cares? And they said gold's going to hit $2,700 by next, the end of 2025. And I'm like, and I even said in the video, I said, it'll probably hit $2,700 in the next month because that's where we are at. And it was already at what, 25.70 at that point. Things are moving faster. And I have to tell you, the true story with these analysts, whatever you want to call them, is that they want to undershoot. They want to over deliver because they underestimate. See where I'm going with this? They want to always be right. And so when you see bank analysts come out and go, gold analysts, gold will be 2,600. Well, it's 2,590, dork. It's pretty easy to figure. Oh, look, it hit it. And you gave it a 2-year time span because they want to go back and see my call. It worked. All right. So it says here, gold spot was down a little bit, blah, blah, blah. But it says bullion has risen 14% so far this quarter alone. Now, how are the stock market indexes doing right now? You see, this gold doesn't always go up, right? It does this over a long period of time. It looks like a housing chart, though. Hey, look, it always goes up. That's what people think about the housing market too, right? But they forget those times when the market went down a little bit. See, when you pull out the chart, you see it's always going up. Well, no, your purchasing power of your currency, that crap currency that's like really strong toilet paper, I don't advise trying it. But the point being is that it's just fiat paper. It's being destroyed every year. So when you pull back far enough, it looks like an amazing investment, right? Housing, gold, all these things, even stocks. Stock market goes up because the dollar goes down over the long term. But what you have to do is you've got to get the big picture, understand why it's doing that. Then you focus into those little cycles, those 7 to 10 year recession cycles, then those 50 and 100-year really big, deep crash cycles. And that's when you make money. That's why Warren Buffett's been selling stocks, not in the last month, not in the last 3 months, but the last year and a half to 2 years. That's why Jamie Dimon sold Chase Bank stock a while ago. That's why you see Jeff Bezos selling stock and all this. It's a lot more than just, I want to go on a vacation with my hot girlfriend, which I don't know. My girlfriend. I just whatever. All right, here we go. Bullion has risen 14% this quarter. It's best since January of 2016. Now, there was a lot of problems back in 2016 that most people don't understand. There was a recession cycle that was thwarted by the Fed, actually, between 2015 and 2016. Also a Shemitah cycle. Just a little tit for tat. Oh, whatever. It is. I have not had any coffee yet this morning, too. I have to tell you, I'm a little slow right now. It's up nearly 6% this month after reaching a record high of 26.85 on Thursday, fueled by the Fed's half percentage point cut. Just so you know, the half percentage point cut means things are bad. They're not really good. That's going to make me dizzy. They said we look to move next to move higher to come from ETF investors. Just so you know, if you buy a gold ETF, you're pretty much buying vaporware. That's tech talk for nothing. Crapola, pie in the sky, hopes and dreams. Hope in one hand, crap in the other. Figure out which one fills up first. Just so you know, I'm not for ETFs. If you have to buy gold, invest in gold through ETFs, the Sprott gold fund where they actually, I don't even know, they've got a Sprott physical silver fund. I don't know if they have a Sprott gold fund, actually. Well, let me know down below if they do. But Sprott does have physical gold or physical silver in their physical silver fund or trust or whatever it's called. Sorry, no coffee, that they put into vaults. Okay. So if you have to do paper, but here, I love physical, especially collectors. He's thinking, why wouldn't you buy silver? I just want to let the IRS know I have been giving these away to subscribers as I meet them. Okay. It's been happening. All right. Here we go. Let's dive back into. Here we go. Chinese gold mania. This is why we all came here. Now, the reason why this story is a big deal is because we've already seen one cycle of Chinese gold buying, and they're starting to do something called panic. And the cool thing about the word panic or crisis, knowing a crisis, Chinese people know one thing that a lot of Americans don't. Type 1 if you agree, that during a crisis comes opportunity. And actually, those two words in the Chinese language are synonymous with each other. But most Americans have no concept of that. They actually are just too busy mocking others that are getting ready. And then they spend all their time crying when something goes bad. I saw it. I saw it on CNBC in 2008 when the Dow was crashing and Aaron Burnett was crying. All right, here we go. Out of Zero Hedge, why another Chinese gold mania may be starting. It says, a few weeks ago, I published an article where I explored the potential for another China-driven rally in gold. And this story is authored by Jesse Colombo. How would you like that name? I'm Jesse Colombo. His thesis was rooted in the observation that China's gold futures traders were the driving force between gold's explosive $400 surge in this past spring. However, these traders have been dormant for the past 5 months as the yuan price of gold stagnated. The author proposed that a technical breakout in the yuan price of gold could trigger a resurgence, similar to the powerful rally we saw in the spring. Since sharing that data, the author has been watching for a breakout in the price of gold priced in yuan. And it appears that this moment has arrived. So he starts talking about the Shanghai futures and examining the gold futures on the Shanghai exchange. The primary driver behind the gold frenzy in March and April, since the April peak, prices have been oscillating but within a well-defined trading range. However, in a promising turn of events, the contract has recently experienced a technical breakout as Chinese traders returned from the Mid-Autumn Festival, which has closed the country's financial markets for 3 days. Although the breakout has been tame so far, with tepid trading volume, there's significant potential for it to gain momentum, especially as the volume continues to pick up. They say the international spot price of gold in yuan had also been trading within a well-defined range since April. Its recent breakout lends Further credibility to breakout seen in Shanghai futures exchange gold futures. The US dollar price for gold has also been on a strong upward trend, breaking through two key resistance levels in the past month and a half. It says here an April Financial Times article entitled Chinese Speculators Supercharged Gold Rally provided a compelling explanation of the gold price surge this past spring. The article highlighted now trading volume in Shanghai gold futures has surged by 400%. You know, as I'm bringing this story up real quick, I want to show you something. Gold. This is a really cool billboard. This happened a while back where people had found a ton of billboards. I'm not zooming in on one, but just a ton of different billboards, right, in China. And this is where it's really important. When China started this campaign of letting its people know that it's important to buy gold. Now, this happened a long time ago. I want to say it was in 2015. And it says right here, check this out. This is an actual billboard. Sorry, this picture on picture gets a little messed up. An actual billboard on a highway that says RMB, new choice. And it says the world currency, and it shows it in gold. Well, there was also other billboards that actually said buy gold, and together, remember, they're all about together in communist parties. It's, hey, it's the people's money. Let's just take it all, and you're all slaves, but it's all our money. But they were showing all of their people, they said, buy gold, and together we will be great. They're really trying to rally people around the idea of gold. And the reason why is because around 2015, Chinese government said, hey, we're going to start something. Actually, it happened before then, but in earnest, they got together with Russia and said, let's start something big. And they started working on that gold-backed yuan, gold-backed, it was a RMB bond. I'm blanking out on it, where it was actually redeemable in gold. It wasn't their entire currency, but it's like a test, right? See how many people would buy it, what kind of market there is for it. And China started buying a lot of gold. Now, forever, for eons, China has not allowed any gold that it mines in its own country out of the country. It tells the gold miners, hey, we'll pay you a certain price around the spot price. We're keeping it. The only gold that's allowed out of China it's like these little teasers. They're gold pandas, and they allow them out around the world to sell, but it is such a small amount of gold. Now, not only with the fact that they don't allow the gold out of the country, except for those little Chinese pandas, which is not a lot of gold. They also are the largest country. They're buying more gold than anybody else. Okay. Now, they have worked their way up the ladder to now they are officially the second largest economy on earth. This is not something to joke around with. Yet most Americans laugh at the thought of China becoming number one. It's absolutely crazy. And I always hear the same stupid argument. And type 2 if you agree with this. Well, our military is bigger than them. And I go, okay, well, if you look, I think they're building, they only have one or two aircraft carrier, whatever they say. And America has this many. All right. Well, I'm pretty sure they're building the exact same amount of aircraft carriers right now as we have in our entire fleet. I have a feeling that's what they're doing. I know for sure they've got like 6 in construction right now, but we also saw during COVID where satellite footage was showing massive buildup of their military. We're talking about building up. And we saw the video of, let me know if you haven't seen this. It's absolutely amazing. Donald Rumsfeld was walking on the Great Wall of China. And about 2 weeks prior, there was a leaked picture of a stealth fighter that came out from China. And it's a big deal because not a lot of countries have stealth fighters, right? And it was going all over the news. It was crazy. And Donald Rumsfeld is walking along with the leadership of China, and he's asked, they said, so do you want to talk about the rumor that we have a jet stealth fighter? And totally threw him off guard. And waiting in the wings was a ton of stealth fighters in the air. And he says, well, let's just clear this up. Here's our fleet of stealth fighters. And they all fly over really fast together. Donald Rumsfeld was completely taken back. And you see, we're in a moment right now that's just very dangerous, both economically and militarily. See, our media likes to point fingers and laugh at China. Look at their ghost cities. They're such a joke. There's nobody in them. And you're walking around going, oh my gosh, this is the most insane concrete construction ever. This could withstand bombs. It has monorails, transfer. None of our own cities look like this, and those ones are empty. Well, they're not now. They're filling them up because that was the plan. And now they're pointing the fingers. Look, their submarine, their first ever submarine, nuclear sub or whatever, sank, and we got all these photos. I'm like, well, I remember tons of photos of things that we tried in our military that completely bombed and failed. But that's what our media wants to do, is point fingers. But how many of those subs are they building? Yeah, was there a problem? Yeah, did something go bad? You know, the problem too also with us, with our military, is a lot of things that go wrong, you'll never hear about. It's classified, like, you know, President Son's laptops, right? And see, we aren't taking the threat serious enough. So the number 2 economy that wasn't the number 2 just recently, it just became it, right? I mean, it hasn't been up for a long time. It's been moving up rapidly. They're buying gold. They're preparing for an economic collapse. They are not only buying gold to prepare for an economic collapse, they're preparing an entire joint currency with other countries, which, by the way, is growing rapidly. And I want to remind you, their currency has caught the eye of our greatest supporter for the last 50 years, and we lost them, Saudi Arabia. And I also want to remind you that every single one of those countries that are joining forces with China and Russia and jumping onto their new BRICS alliance, soon to be their own currency, joint currency, they're already pulling out of deals with America. There are less deals, way less deals today being done in the US dollar, which has forever given us strength and kept our inflation very low, because we have exported our inflation to all of them because we print money and give it to them and force them to buy oil and other things in dollars. That is no longer happening. And there is a bout of hyperinflation, a mini bout that's coming. Because once America goes into trouble, it's going to reverberate throughout the entire world. All right. So there's going to be a mini bout of hyperinflation that's coming. I don't know when, right? Because a lot of dollars are going to come back to America and buy things. And that's scary. It's very scary. So you have that coupled with the fact that the Fed is printing less dollars for the government to give to other countries to buy stuff with. I don't think this is a joke, but I do believe this. A prudent man sees danger or trouble ahead and moves to avoid it. Well, you know, a lot of people are like, how do I get rich? I'm like, well, just do what rich people do. I've been slowly selling off my stock portfolio and other portfolios for a while, preparing for something very, very interesting. And a lot of people seem to be running headlong into those asset classes because they're going up 1 or 2%, you know, maybe a month or whatever it be. And they're getting super excited. During a crash, the sad thing is King Dollar is still King Dollar. I don't know which way because what happens is panic sets in. You remember, we're not talking about value. We're talking about emotions. That's what drives all markets, whether it be real estate, equities, bonds, precious metals, cryptocurrencies. They're all based off of emotion, human emotion. And you've got to figure out where the emotion's going. So right now, where's the emotion? By and large, most people are super excited that are investors because all they see is dollars go up. And so they're forced in, just like the late 20s. And for a long time, there are people, and I want to say it was Warren Buffett that says, I'd rather be 6 months too early than 1 day too late. And that was based off, that quote came from what he was doing in 2006, 2005, and in 2007 when he was building up a massive cash hoard at Berkshire Hathaway. See, there's a reason why Berkshire stocks went from $1,000 to it peaked around $700 and something thousand recently. It's in the 600s now. I think it's at 625, if memory serves me right. There's a reason why they're liquidating. And I would feel more personally, I can't give you financial advice. I'm just a dude with a bro hawk and a dream. I'd feel more comfortable with a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver, a little bit of Bitcoin, equal amounts of cash in multiple banks. That's what I'm doing. I can't tell you what to do, but I would never exceed an FDIC limit. Why not? That's insurance. It's called insurance, right? Just like gold's insurance during a crisis. And we are actually in a crisis. When the Fed lowered 50 basis points, it's actually a bad thing. It's a bad thing. There are a lot of people that got excited, especially gold traders, but it means the end is nigh. Now, the sad thing is, this is going to blow some people's minds. And this is the ninja making a call right now. And I hate fence sitters that just go, well, if it does this, this is going to happen. If it does that, that's going to happen. Well, no crap, Sherlock. This is what I'm going to say. They're going to lower rates again. I don't know how much. I was shocked by the 50 basis points. They should have done 25, 25, and 25 before the presidential election to give Biden a good old pat on the back on his way out and falls down the stairs. My point being is that what's going to happen is that's going to surge inflation. See, you're already seeing it. Stocks are rallying. Well, as things get expensive, all kinds of things, it all trickles down to one thing that's very important: food. And you are going to see higher food prices, which means when people are screaming in 2025 over the inflation, the Fed is going to have to, just like Paul Volcker did in 1980, because they made two mistakes. They went up, they dropped right for an election. Oh crap, things didn't get fixed. They got worse, and they shot those interest rates up. And usually the measured move, based on the last 4 times since 1972, and this is when the ninja gets serious, was a 50% move higher. So with the Fed funds rate at 5, I would expect the Fed fund rate to go between 7.5 and 8. I know it sounds crazy, and people can mock me all day long. But, we don't got a lot of people with cajones in this world, especially in the financial arena. They always want to be right, so they make stupid guesstimates that are guaranteed to happen. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say it. Just like I said, with lumber futures, we're going to crash, bringing down the price of lumber. I get it. People are like, but it's still not as cheap as it was. Yeah, get used to it. That's called an inflationary, then a deflationary crash. And the deflationary crash never, on certain items, never goes back to the mean, depending on how many, like in lumber's case, how many lumber mills are open, as opposed to how much demand there is. There's still a lot of fake demand because there's a lot of fake money out there sloshing around in the markets. China's out buying up your farmland right now, and China's up buying up houses. You're going to find that in the news of about 6 months. I hate to tell you. America is one of the only countries where it's super easy to just own any real estate. Anyone from the world can buy it. I think it's disgusting, actually. Honestly, I think it's disgusting. It has caused higher housing prices. Now there's a crash coming, and I myself just put in an offer on a house that has fallen 33% from the peak. And you know what's crazy? It's going to drop even more. I know it sounds crazy, but I do have a reason for doing it, because when I buy real estate, I buy it for specific reasons. Like, it will make me more money, not by appreciation, not by rentals, but by maybe starting a business on that property, things like that. And sometimes it's called a collateral loss when you know you're going to take a little bit of a loss, but you have the protection and the hope of other different streams coming out of an investment. But when I said real estate was going to crash, I'm already being proven right. But it's just because I'm going to go and do it. I'm making the deals. I hope you got something out of this. I think everyone should own at least 2 ounces of silver. Everyone. Come on, guys. Hashtag silver right now if you agree with that. Everyone in America should own 2 ounces of silver. The only question is, are you going to own it at 30, 32 bucks an ounce? Or are you going to finally buy those ounces of silver when it's 50 bucks an ounce and Aaron Burnett is going, silver just broke the all-time high. I guess it's not just for old men living in basements playing with electric trains. That's a real quote. I hope you got something out of this. Thank you to everybody that's been signing up for the newsletter. Links down below. If you want a link to buy your first 2 ounces of silver, a company I've used and I trust, links down below. They deliver it to your house. I always buy the cheapest. Just, this is a silver buffalo round. It's just 1 ounce pure silver bullion. That's not financial advice. It's life advice. If you can't scrape 65 bucks, 75 bucks together, you got problems. Get those problems fixed. The Economic Ninja is out.